Yo, 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 welcome to another episode of the Culturally Controversial Podcast, Football Talk, man. I'm your host, Simply Nicholas 87, and my co-host, Ty H.
Good evening. Glad to be back with you again.
Hey, man, technically this is week one, but we're going into week two, but this is week one of recap, preview show. We're going to start it off, usually how we do every year. We start off with the previous game, and then we'll fall up into this upcoming game. For all the new people that out there, thank you. We have reached 401 subscribers. We're 99 away from 500. So if you guys could tell somebody, cause 99 just won't do. So
And 9.5 won't do either.
yeah. So y'all get out there and get these people to sub up, so we can get some interaction going on in here. All right, let's break it down. Let's get into week one. As a lot of people know, if you don't know, if you live somewhere on the rock, most of North and South Carolina definitely pushed their games up to Thursday. Some pushed it back to Saturdays, but Anson pushed their game up to a Thursday
Yep.
home opener against Red Springs, who they took on last year in a heartbreaking last year loss, 34-32. But this year,
32 to 30 it was the score last year.
okay, 32-30. I'm sorry, I apologize. Um,
Sorry.
but this year, home opener, 42 Anson, Red Springs 0. A complete dominant shutout on all phases of the ball, I would say, special teams, offense and defense. They looked really, really clean. Um, uh, Offense moved the ball at will with no problem. Defense had their way with their offense, and it was just us from start to finish. It looked great. I'm not saying it was perfect, but there's always room to improve. It's always good to get that first win of the season. Changes the attitude going forward. So what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah. I was very happy. We dominated the game from beginning to end, and what I love the most is that we controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Offensive line dominated the point of attack. We were able to run the ball at will. If I remember correctly, we had 316 total yards, which all of those were rushing yards. Generally speaking, if you run the ball for 316 yards, you're going to win. On top of that, we had zero turnovers. 316 yards running, zero turnovers, led by Kadarius Bivens with 153 rushing yards and three touchdowns. Uh, that's a formula for success. On defense, I love how we flew to the ball. We tackled well. Everyone rallied to the ball. I thought all three levels of defense played excellent. I thought the defensive front was great at the point of attack. We were able to get a pass rush. We had two sacks in this game. I thought linebackers played really well, rallying to the ball, and I was very impressed with the safety play. Even when if um, if one of the backs for Red Springs was able to get through the line or get past the linebackers, safeties came right up and cleaned it up. I noticed the safeties were downhill, flying to the ball, finishing off tackles. And what I love is that even when the Red Springs might would escape after initial contact, the rest of the guys would just rally to the ball and there to make the tackle. So I love the pursuit to the ball. I love the solid tackling. None of the dumb mistakes, none of the missed tackles, none of the overrunning plays. I no complaints at all. On offense, we had six total possessions and we scored six touchdowns. So that means that every time we possessed the ball, the drive ended in a touchdown. Only two penalties for the game, so it's a clean football game. Only two penalties. One was may have been, I believe, like an illegal formation, and one was like an offsetting penalty. Well, the legal formation was offset by a roughing the passer, but there may have been another pre-snap accepted penalty. So only two accepted penalties against us for the entire game. No kind of unsportsmanlike conduct. No kind of jawing back and forth with the officials. Everybody was in accordance with each other. I know there may be critics that might say, well, your opponent may have not been as strong and all that. Let me tell you something. That's not our freaking problem. At the end of the day, Anson's job is to play who they play, execute, and defeat who they play. We possessed the ball six times, like I said before. And on all six possessions, we capped that off with touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So for anyone who's complaining saying we should have done more, I'll say what the heck else were they supposed to do? Six possessions, six touchdowns. The objective is when you have the possession of the ball, is to cap the drive off with touchdowns. Every single drive that we had ended in a touchdown. And on defense, the objective is to prevent the other team from scoring. Every single defensive series, we prevented the other team from scoring. Hence a 42 to nothing victory. We led 28 to nothing at halftime, went on to win the game 42 to nothing. So when I hear someone want to complain about the qualitative component, I actually just want to say STFU is what I want to say because at this point, we haven't won a season opener in a long time. Red Springs beat us last year. I know where Red Springs lost players. Again, that's not our problem. We lost players too. We lost players like Tashawn Harris. We lost players like Doc Hyatt. We lost playmakers too. So that's a part of the game. Attrition is a natural part of the game. They had attrition. We had attrition. All I know is at the end of the day, we beat them 42 to nothing, and we did what we were supposed to do. And I commend them for it. It's not like we were playing the Cabarrus County Stallions like a few years ago. This is a legit opponent, a legit school, a school that beat us last year, and this year we paid them back with some interest. I have no complaints, absolutely zero complaints about what transpired last Thursday. Someone might say, well, we didn't pass the ball enough. Why the heck would you pass the ball when you're running for 10 yards to carry?
Good
They
point.
could not stop us from running.
Mm-mm.
We got a first down almost every two plays. We rushed for 316 yards, did not have a single negative play in the game. Everything went for at least 5 yards a pop. There was no need to throw a ball. And the one time we did throw it, we looked good doing it. It was unfortunately that was the offsetting penalty that nullified that touchdown. But Josiah Wall has a cannon of an arm, and I feel like if there was ever a situation where we needed him to answer the bell to throw the ball and accurately read the field and get the ball to playmakers, I have no doubts that he could do it. But if you run for 316 yards, and protect the football, and the other team can't stop you from running at will, then if it's not broken, there's no need to fix it. That was a dominant performance, both sides of the ball, all three phases of the game, offense, defense, and special teams. Shout out to the young sophomore linebacker who almost had a pick six. That was a great read. It was on a fake punt that on special teams that Red Springs tried to execute. And the gentleman, Coach Allen told me his name, but I can't remember his name now. He's a sophomore middle linebacker for the JV squad who's getting some varsity reps. He read that and jumped that route and almost had a pick six and still forced a turnover on downs. So shout out even to that young man. So even on special teams, we were alert. What I like better that I've seen so far that I can
Mm-mm.
already tell is better from last year.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, we're seeing things faster and
Mm-hmm.
we're reading and reacting quicker. Secondary is playing more fundamental and more sound. There were several deep shots the Red Springs tried to take, and we were there and we were able to get in position to get the pass break up. Also, the pass rush is better, so we were able to get pressure on the quarterback. You didn't have a bunch of busted plays in the secondary where receivers were running around by themselves. You didn't have that. Your safeties were rallying to the ball. Well, I saw several plays on defense Thursday that we would have never seen made last year. I'm about to say, no, we know it's 1 week at a time. Everybody knows
Mm-hmm.
it's 1 week at a time. But, but at the end of the day, on that first week, we handled our business. That first week, we've shown that we're better, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. I see our good friend Pastor Jeff Crump
Yes,
put a message
sir.
in there. Let's what did he got to say?
Pastor Gunn says they can say all they want to, but they jumped 9 spots on Max Prep from 4A class.
Sure did, sure did. I think what we're now like they got us like 15th in our class on Max Preps.
Mm-hmm.
So where were we before? Like 30 something, 35th,
Yeah.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So and like I said, we know that we're going to have tougher opponents. But like Coach Allen says, our focus is on what we do, our execution, what we're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Look what the men in orange and blue got to handle, and a few other colors, gray and black and whatever else. But primarily orange and blue got to do. All right, enough of my soapbox, Nick. Nick, before I take all your time.
Oh no, no, you good. Like I was just gonna rebut on what you said. Basically, like the things that I was more happy about that nobody wants to. That probably hadn't noticed, but if you notice, we had a kicker,
Yes.
a good kicker. who probably could probably boot it from 40
Yes,
because he was drilling those extra points and probably could still, like you said, put another 20 on it and probably still could make it
with ease.
with ease. Yeah, I hadn't seen a kicker like that in a long time.
Probably since we had Dakota Martinez.
Martinez, yep, probably since
Shout out
then.
Dakota Martinez.
It's been a long time. But anyway, I'm not gonna apologize for winning. My thing is
Never.
if you can run for 316 yards without even making a pass, and you're getting 5.5, 6 yards of carry, that's what first down every 2 plays, maybe one and a
Exactly.
half. What can you complain about? You control the line of scrimmage. You're gonna you had 6 possessions. You scored 6 times. That's a formula for success. You had 2 penalties. One was an offsetting penalty, like you said. One was probably a legal procedure. Um, but other than that, it was a clean game, and you can't argue with the clean game with no turnovers. You're gonna win.
Agreed. Especially when you dominate line of scrimmage like that.
When you dominate both sides, offense and defensively. Because if you generate pass rush and get them flustered enough, I mean the game is pretty much yours. You had control of the game. Um, but the whole game, I'll say, the first half was just complete dominance. I mean, the second half was a running clock, so you just played it to the end. So you know,
Yeah, I like the level of focus and the attention to detail is what I like. We did all the little things well, all the
mm-hmm,
fundamental things well. Run it. I mean, because sometimes people make things more difficult than it got to be. I'm about to say our guys made plays, uh, ran up, made tackles, made the routine plays, and we did that. The team looked disciplined, looked sound, looked focused. And what I loved is even when we put the second unit in there, how the second unit was flying to the ball. I think the
mm-hmm,
second unit took pride in preserving the shutout. Oftentimes, when you take your first unit out in a blowout game, you put your second unit in there, and your second unit is in there against other teams' ones. Lots of times, it's not the same, and the level of intensity is not the same either. The effort may be the same, but lots of times there's a drop off, and lots of times they end up surrendering a touchdown. In this case, that second unit was tenacious. I mean, tenacious. Excuse me. Um,
mm-hmm,
flying to that ball as well, rallying, making tackles. And I love how I was seeing the passion, the excitement, seeing how the starters were cheering on the second unit. It's like everybody was in unison. I know Coach Allen always talk about one cat. All that, and I remember back in the day, Coach McMahon said one team, one heartbeat.
mm-hmm.
Last Thursday, it was one cat. You
Yep.
could you could see the unison. You could see the guys believing in what they were doing. And what this does, it increases your confidence. And I know people talk about getting overconfident, but confidence is not a bad thing. Confidence is a good thing. Confidence to the point where you don't prepare is a bad thing. But confidence and swagger is a good thing. And now we got a group of guys who are believing. We got a group of guys who went through a rigorous offseason,
Mm-hmm.
went out there in the heat, went out there through camp, whatever, bought in to what Coach Allen and his staff were implementing, believed it, and then not only did that happen, but they capped that off with a victory and with a dominant victory. That's a different feeling from when you put in all that work and then you still lose the game. Because
Mm-hmm.
now it shows that, hey, all this stuff I'm doing, it does work. If I do what Coach Allen, Coach Blackwell, Coach Hyatt, and Coach Terry Harris and anybody else name who I may have left out, I apologize. If I do these things that my position coaches and my coordinators and my head coach tell me to do, it's showing that hey, we can be successful. If we buy in to what the staff is implementing, then yes, we can be successful. When we talked to Coach the coach not Hyatt,
Allen.
Coach Allen a few weeks ago, he said the buy-in has not been a problem. He said the guys have really bought in, and it's evident now. You can see it. The guys have bought in, and not only can you see it, but it's resulted in victory. And you can tell the focus is there, the attention to detail is there, the intensity is there, the passion is there. Another thing, if you look on Max Preps, it's showing 49 guys on the roster. The depth is there. That's a
Mm-hmm.
big difference. You remember last year
It was
we
like
had about eight
38.
starters playing both ways.
Mm-hmm.
That was very tough. And I'm not knocking coach for it because at the time, coach always said, we got to do what we got to do.
Yep.
Sometimes you got to use what you got. You got to do what you got to do to get to where you're trying to go. I totally get it. But this year, we don't have to do that because we have the depth. This is probably the most depth we've had since the Fred Davis, Joe DeGrooms, Tim McMahon,
Mm-hmm.
the kind of depth that they had. And when we had those kind of guys, we got 49, 50 guys. That means you're three deep at every
Position.
position. I mean, you got first, second, and third string. You got enough guys on special teams, so you don't have to force guys. I shouldn't say force. You don't have to be forced as a coach to decide whether you want to play guys both ways or not. Now, when
Right.
you're playing guys both ways, it's a luxury or a bonus or for a
Mm.
competitive advantage, not a necessity.
Right.
And you can see Kadarius Bivens, 15 carries, 153 yards, fresh legs. He doesn't have to go and play DB right after he get off the field, so he can preserve his legs. Same thing
Mm-hmm.
with your other runners. I think what Titus Mungo and guys like that. Same,
Titus Mungo, James Steele.
yeah, and James Steele can play offense too, which he does sometimes. But James Steele is a phenomenal defensive tackle,
Mm-hmm.
and was dominant in the middle.
Yeah.
So shout out to James Steele. Shout out to Cordarius Bivens. Shout out, the gentleman that the JV gentleman who almost had that pick six. He had like he made some other plays in the game too. Gosh, I just wish I could call his name. Who's somebody in here? The JV middle linebacker. Can somebody tell me his
I know somebody know.
name? Coach Allen told me his name. If I could, and see, I'm having computer issues, so I'm having a hard time getting. I could pull up the roster and get it, but for whatever reason, my Microsoft Edge on my laptop is just really acting up, and it's even I keep shutting down and restarting. It's really making me upset. Let me.
I'm gonna read some in the chat.
All right, go ahead.
Coach, Coach Crump says with the new scoreboard and the win, shout out to Coach Allen. Let's hope this is the start into a new turnaround for Answer football.
I think so, Coach.
Yeah, I agree, man. I know last year everybody looked at it like it was a rough year, but when you go back and look at last year,
Well, it
right?
was a rough year, by the way, but still.
It was a rough year, but a lot of those games we were in, we had the lead, we lost by less than a touchdown in a lot of those games,
Yes, we did. The majority of them.
majority of them. So you know, I get it. A lot of guys, like I said, play both ways. Some guys probably got gassed out, injuries made
Shamar Pittman.
pressure.
Sorry,
Okay, Shamar
Shamar
Pittman.
Pittman. He also had four tackles and a near pick six. Let me read off. I didn't mean to cut you off, Nick. I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead and finish your statement.
no. I was just saying, basically, when I'm not saying they weren't bought in last year. I just think that last year was just a issue of we had a lot of guys playing both ways. That'll gas you out.
Yeah, and there were a lot of fundamental issues. Some of them could have been due to experience and all that
Mm,
too. But I think this offseason, I think Coach Allen reflecting on things. One thing I like about Coach Allen, he's a strategist.
mm,
He's a person who's not afraid to admit that, hey, maybe I could have looked at it this way, or maybe I could have implemented this, or maybe I could have attacked it this way. I mean, he's very transparent about trying to find ways to be better the next day, the next week, the next year than before. He's adamant about that, and that's a great quality of a leader. And I really think that he reflected on things, what worked, what didn't work, and I think and he shifted the focus to putting using guys' strengths, and then having the depth now that's adequate and what you need, it made it much easier. And I think they he's not going to admit this does because he's going to say that, hey, I'm just a guy trying to win football games. But that guy wants to win. That guy's a passionate guy and he wants to win. We can see the fire in him. We could tell that Friday. We're up 21
mm.
to nothing, and we saw how passionate, how fire he got. I love it. I love seeing that fire when you're up big like that. And what I love the most about that whole sequence Thursday night, man, is that even when our guys had a big lead, they never took their foot off the gas. Even when our guys had a big lead, you didn't see them run there dancing and acting like they've never been there before. You didn't see them letting up. You didn't see them not taking the game seriously. You didn't see them all of a sudden become a relaxed. You didn't see them all of a sudden thinking it didn't matter. Their intensity stayed the same throughout the game. Their focus stayed the same throughout the game. Their tenacity stayed the same throughout the game. There was never any let up. There was never any giving them life. There was never any giving any hope. They immediately kept their focus. I mean, they immediately came out on the attack from the beginning, and they maintained that intensity throughout. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, hang on 1 second.
Okay.
That was a work related text. Just got to make sure
Yeah.
everything's good. All right,
Right.
but I love that intensity and that focus. Let me I got some numbers now. I got my the situation my computer resolved. All right,
Okay.
so on the ground, like I said before, as a team, 35 carries, 316 yards. That's 9 yards a pop.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to average 9 yards every carry, there's no need to throw the freaking ball. So all those armchair QBs out there and all those armchair coaches out there, and I know I've been guilty of complaining and stuff too. But at the end of the day, 316 yards and 35 carries, 9 yards a pop, no negative plays. There wasn't any need to have to throw it. We didn't have to throw the ball.
Let's don't forget about the
Led
most
by
important, the most
so
important part of that. Let's don't forget about the most important part of that.
zero
Zero
turnovers,
turnovers.
zero turnovers,
Turnovers.
zero turnovers. Guys, you see what happened when you protect the football.
Mm-hmm.
That's the team you could have beaten last year if you played defense, protect the football. But what a difference a year makes. Shout out to Cordarius Bivens, 15 carries, 153 yards, and 3 touchdowns, 10.2 yards a carry. Shout
Yep.
out to running back, last name Nelson, 7 carries, 56 yards. LeGrand, 5 carries, 10 yards. Benson, 5 carries, 42 yards. Bird, 1 carry for 12 yards. Shout out to those guys. I see Delente, 1 carry for 2 yards. Is that Corey Tillman's son?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Man, I know. Man, I'm feeling old. We graduated with his dad. And
Right.
and shout out to Cox Jr. He's a junior running back. He had a carry for a yard as well. Let's look at some defense. Titus Mongo had 3 total tackles and a tackle for loss. Johnson had a tackle. Had Travis Huntley had a tackle. Man, we graduated with his dad too.
That too. Yep.
Boy, this is just getting crazy, man. I just named 2 guys we graduated with their dads. Grambling had 2 total tackles. Um, McCormick had 2 total tackles and a tackle for loss. I see May had a tackle. Johnson had a tackle. Mackenzie Bowman had 2 tackles. Easterling had 4 total tackles and a tackle for loss. Gaddy had 2 tackles. Roberts had 3 tackles. Teal had a tackle. Simmons had 2 tackles. Scott had 2 tackles. And both of them were tackles for loss. Simmons' 2 tackles were tackles for loss as well. Teal also, his tackle was a tackle for loss. A tackle for loss, those are impactful for those forcing negative plays to the opposition. Uh, Waller, he had a freshman, he had a tackle for loss. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, we mentioned Pittman, 4 tackles. All 4 of those were tackles for loss. And then, of course, James Steele, who had 4 total tackles, and his were tackle for loss. Oh, excuse me. Let me go back with the tackle for loss thing. I misspoke. Uh, Easterling did have a tackle for loss, but Gaddy 2 tackles, Roberts 3 tackles, Teal 1 tackle, Simmons 2 tackles, Scott 2 tackles, Waller a tackle, Pittman 4 tackles, Steele 4 tackles with 1 tackle for loss. So as a team, we had 2 sacks and 4 tackles for loss as a team defensively. So that's basically six. That's forcing 6 negative plays defensively. That's keeping
Mm-hmm.
the team behind
The
the
sticks.
sticks. Again, James still had a sack, and McCormick had a sack.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Mungo also had an interception as well.
Yep.
So, usually I don't read every single player's stats, but in a dominant effort like that, everybody played well and everybody did their part on that. So I felt it was important to read off everybody's stats in this situation. And
Yeah.
Josiah Wall should have had a passing touchdown, but unfortunately, they called us for illegal formation. So that got wiped off the board, but we still went on to score a rushing touchdown in that sequence. But boy, that was a beautiful touchdown pass that he hit that I wish would have counted. But it's a great sign for things to come.
Oh yeah, it's a great sign, man. When you can start the season off in a dominant fashion, it exuberates confidence going into the next week. But you got to remember, that's just that's I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer because I'm not a Debbie Downer. But let's just keep the main thing the main thing. 1-0 last week is let's go 1-0 this week.
Right. I always tell people you want you like I said, I was talking to Terry, excuse me, Coach Harris, uh, after the game. I said all I want to do is go 1-0 10 times.
Yeah.
That's all we're trying to do. That's all we're trying to do. Uh, like I said, we got the test. It's going to be a little bit of a tougher test this coming week. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
never underestimate your opponent. Don't fear your opponent, but don't
Don't
underestimate your opponent.
underestimate your opponent. Yep.
And focus on what you're supposed to do. First of all, any given team can be beaten on any given Friday if you don't do what you're supposed to do. So the
Mm-hmm.
key is to do what we're supposed to do. All right,
Yep.
Montgomery Central, our upcoming opponent. You don't mind if I?
Yeah. Go. Yeah. Go ahead. You go. You got it.
Okay, okay. Montgomery Central is our upcoming opponent. Upcoming opponent. That's the consolidation of East Montgomery, West Montgomery that happened a few years ago. Located in Troy, North Carolina, right up the road, up in Montgomery County, our neighboring county, about 30 miles to the north of 109. Was not West Montgomery. Dang it, I'm still doing it. Montgomery Central, excuse me, fell short in a close ball game to the Central Bears Vikings. They lost to Central Bears 21-14. So one thing to keep in mind, they're coming off a loss. That
Mm-hmm.
means they're hungry for a win. That means their urgency is going to be a little bit higher. They're going to have a little bit more desire because they're going to be a little bit more desperate. That means that we're going to have to match their intensity. I
Mm-hmm.
believe they run like a triple option based type offense, so we should have some familiarity with defending their formation. I'm gonna pull up some of their stats from their loss to Central Bears. That was a game that was a nip and tuck ball game that they fell short on. So we know that they're competitive, and we're still going to be focused. They're led by all world athlete. We just say do it all athlete. His name is Chavis Bowden.
Mm-hmm.
Chavis Bowden. And excuse me. That's their wide receiver. I'm sorry. Raheem Stanback is the quarterback. Man, those are
Mm-hmm.
some familiar last names. I know some. Those are like Richmond County names, Bowden and Stanback. But so they have speed. From what I'm understanding, they have speed galore.
Mm-hmm.
My understanding is sophomore quarterback Raheem Stanback. Excuse me, I said Raheem earlier. Forgive me for the mispronunciation. Raheem Stanback is a stellar athlete and 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Blazing speed, lightning quick, whatever analogy or cliche you want to use about him. Quarterback, but as an athlete, just a sophomore. He rushed for 180 yards. He led the team in rushing. He also he let me see how many touchdowns he had. Well, they only scored 2 touchdowns, but he also threw the ball well. He threw for 103 yards. So he rushed. So that's truly
The
showing dual
dual
threat ability.
threat.
He's a guy.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember last year he had made a couple nice passes against us. Granted, weren't nearly as strong or sound in secondary last year, but he has arm strength and he can make some throws. So just because he's an athlete or a runner, you still have to be on the lookout for his arm as well. And the thing about teams that run triple option, a lot of times they don't throw the ball. They don't throw the ball much, but the key is knowing when they're going to throw
They're
it
gonna
and
throw the
being ready
ball.
and not
Yeah.
caught off guard when they're going to throw it. This
Mm-hmm.
guy's an athlete. If he gets on the perimeter, he can fly. I think what the key is, if you can contain him, you can beat them. Yes, they got Chavis Bowden, who's their athletic receiver slash running back and cornerback as well. They also have receiver Cadence Bostic. He had 40 yards receiving, so it looked like they got some targets as well. Some athletes who can go out there and get it. So you're gonna have to be sound on your defensive assignments. What I say with Mr. Stanback, keep him contained. I think if we can contain Mr. Stanback, our defense will be fine. Can't let him get on the edge. I think safety play is going to be very important on protecting that edge because you got a
Mm-hmm.
guy who wants to get out on the perimeter
Mm-hmm.
and get in space and get downfield, guns blazing. That's where we have to string him out. We have to force him to pitch that ball, and the safeties have to run down and defend that pitch.
Yeah.
And I think safety play is going to be paramount. I think if our defensive line can be disruptive and throw off the timing, and our safeties can be solid, I think we can win this game. Another thing, I think we can run the ball on them like we did last year. The key is holding on to the ball. I think a lot of our success this week and going forward is going to be contingent on whether we can hold on to the ball. Last week,
Mm-hmm.
excellent job. We held on to the ball. We had a couple close calls, but the running back was down. But still, I don't even want to leave that up to interpretation. I want to be where because you don't want to put that into a referee's interpretation. Sometimes you might be down or going down, and the official can rule it incorrectly too. So I don't even want to leave that into an official's interpretation. Make sure we're holding on to the ball. Make sure we're sound defensively. Make sure we're finishing our tackles like we did last week. If we do those things, I think we come away with the victory against Montgomery Central. To me, it's not necessarily about what Montgomery Central's doing or what Montgomery Central's trying to do. It's about Anson County doing what Anson County needs to do.
Right. Um, I'll just say this. The the key to that, like you said, you're gonna have to get that quarterback one dimensional, meaning you got to shut down his one of those threats, mainly the run, him getting out on the
Yeah.
perimeter. You're gonna have to stop that because one thing about dual threat quarterbacks is like having 12 people on the field.
Yep. That's an extra person you got to account for. Yep. It's
Yeah.
like yep. Especially in the ground game.
Mm-hmm. It's like having a
And like you
football.
and like you're alluding to, lots of times the ground a team like that, they're not trying to come out passing the ball. They want when they do throw it, it's set up by the run.
Mm-hmm.
Because once they get you off balance, that's when they can attack you downfield. They might only take 2 or 3 shots, but those are usually those kill shots because they've sucked the defense in with their perennial running attack. If you could
Mm-hmm.
shut down that running attack, contain that running attack, then and take that dimension away, like I said, make them one dimensional, then that eliminates slash alleviates the negates the threat of the downfield passing because they're not a pure pocket passing team. They want to use that run to set up the pass, as you as alluded to a moment ago.
Yeah, so you got to keep him from getting out to the edge of the perimeter. The main thing you keep him contained in that pocket, you're gonna have a good day. Because
Yeah,
the more he's in that pocket and he can't get going, the less chance that they're gonna have to find something to work.
yeah. And with a
If he
team that's running options, you cannot have dirty eyes.
mm can't.
You cannot have dirty eyes. You got to have good eye discipline. You got to follow that ball because a lot of time that ball
Mm,
has been it, it moved around to different places to the point where you don't necessarily know who has the ball.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
so
got especially if they can sell it real good. If you can sell
yeah,
it good enough, it catch you slipping.
right. You cannot have dirty eyes. You have to have lane integrity. You cannot overrun plays. You cannot overrun your gaps. You got to have gap integrity and all that stuff because and you have to have and there's still you have to be aggressive but patient at the same time. That balance
Yeah, like I said, you contain
and
you.
remain disciplined.
Yeah, you contain that. The keys to this week: holding on to the ball and keeping that quarterback contained in that pocket. Because once you do that,
Yeah,
you pretty much got the offense. When you got the offense trying to figure out what to do now because they can't get it
right.
going.
And with a guy like that, when he scrambles out, you got to have good lane integrity. You can't
Mm-hmm.
overrun him.
Mm-mm.
I'm about to say that's where you got to fly to the ball, corral him, keep contained, and not
Mm-hmm.
overrun him because all he needs is the lane and he can fly.
Yep,
Yeah, I'm about to say. I personally think this group of guys is set on proving that it's a new Anson.
I agree.
I think this is a new Anson with a new life.
I agree. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you 100% because, like I said, if you go out there and do those things and you control the tempo of the game like you did last week, you're gonna win
Yeah,
again.
and it looks like Montgomery Central has they. It seems like they have several guys who play both ways too. I'm looking at just looking at the numbers. Let me go
Mm,
to the. I'm gonna because like for example, I know I'm seeing guys listed under multiple positions, so that's what I'm trying to pull up their numbers. This that'll let me know because I'm like, if we could wear them down, get them tired, especially if the guys going both ways. You get them fatigued and just keep throwing and I mean this figuratively. You just keep throwing body blows until they eventually run out of gas.
yeah,
And
I like I said, I mean, like having that dual threat quarterback is a 12 man on the field, but if you can contain him from doing what he does best, it's just like playing 11 on 11. Then they got to figure out
yeah,
that offense gonna have to change up because they don't know how to get that option going. They're gonna have to probably resort to passing the ball, which is gonna lead to probably interceptions or bad throws, underthrows, sacks. It's
yeah. What to make it easier if guys like James Steele and that defensive line if they can be disruptive.
What
They can,
four and
yeah,
10?
that can really,
That can really.
that can really pay dividends because that can disrupt the timing of everything they're trying to do.
Yeah. I say you send four, you can drop everybody else if they keep everybody else
I'm talking about even their running game.
game.
If you, yeah, you could disrupt that option before it ever gets started.
Started, yeah.
And if you got a defense tackle that can get off his block and can read that and can read what the
Mm,
QB is doing, and
mm-hmm.
he can bust all that up before it ever gets started.
Yep. You threading them out, make him go back a couple yards before he can even get it going. Like you said, as long as y'all can keep it contained, where he can't get going up, he's either staying at the line of scrimmage or going back. You got him when you want him.
Yeah, because I'm thinking they're a one man army.
Thinking so. That's what my ear from the stats you read out. It sounds like he is the offense.
Yeah, no, but what? Let me see what year he's in. 'Cause, stand back. He's a sophomore. As far as what he did on through the air this past week against Central Bears, yeah, he had 103 yards, but he went 3 of 10 and threw a touchdown and two picks. Um, every, what it was, he had a 60-yard bomb,
Oh,
and
okay.
so but that's what you got to watch out for.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy like that, you get him out and you lose contain, and you got dirty eyes, and
Yep.
he catches a safety looking in the backfield, and the receiver
Mm-hmm.
streaking down the field. Sometimes a play like that, yeah, the passing numbers might not be that efficient, but plays that end up being touchdowns or end up leading to touchdowns, those still are game impacting plays because those are points. And if you get caught up in a close game, you don't want to give up unnecessary scores because you had dirty eyes and you were looking at the backfield. So yeah, he was 1 of 3. Excuse me, he was 3 of 10. But in that 3 of 10, he had a 60-yard touchdown pass. In a close game, that can matter. So
Yeah.
he threw two interceptions. So as tenacious as our defense is, I definitely want us to get after him, and hopefully we can force him to turn the ball over too. I think if we could do that, I think we can win the ball game. Even if he does, a guy like that, I mean, he's going to make plays here and there. Red Springs, the quarterback, made a couple plays too, made some nice throws, but we didn't let it break us. We didn't let it, we didn't let it go to the house. We kept him out of the end zone. There were a few
Mm-hmm.
times where we bent, but we didn't break. So
Yeah.
same thing here. Yeah, this guy's an athlete. Yeah, he's going to make some plays, but don't let him break you.
Yeah. You keep him on the wraps. You got what you want. That's why I'm at with it. Cause from a hundred yards rushing, 100 plus yards rushing, and 100 yards passing, you already know what time it is.
Yeah, but on that rushing, and he had 180 yards. He also, just so you know, he had a 95-yard run. You better not miss any tackles against this guy.
I think we'll be able to get him.
You better not miss any tackles. A man that took one for 95 yards, missed tackle, and he's gone.
Yeah.
Like I said, it looks like this guy can fly.
Uh,
10 carries,
per, per,
180 yards one of those carries for 95 yards. And think about it, one of those carries for 95 yards, but still had about 90 yards on the 9 other carries. So I mean,
yeah. Yeah. So he was averaging like almost 9 a carry minus the 95.
you're right. And then you throw that and then you throw that 95 yarder on there. Um, we can't take them lightly. I mean, I like how we're playing, but I mean, this ain't Red Springs. This is a better football team. And the thing about it, I look I look forward to seeing how we accept the challenge. I look forward to seeing how we relish the challenge. I look forward to seeing how we take on the challenge of playing a better football team than we played last week. The thing about it, you want to challenge yourself because if you want to be a good team, you're going to have to beat quality teams. So
Yep.
last week we played a team I think that we were clearly better than, and we took care of our business, and I'm proud of it. We looked great doing it. This week the test is a little tougher. You know, every round goes a little higher and higher. Every opponent, every test is
Yes.
supposed to be a little harder than next. So this week we got a bigger challenge. We got more of our work cut out for us. But I'm excited to see how we respond to it because yes, we had a big win last week, and we deserved kudos for it. But now it's on to the next one,
Yep.
and now it's on to the next level. It's a
Mm-hmm.
5A school, a little bit bigger than us. We got more players, but I'm talking about overall bigger school. They
Mm-hmm.
got look like they have a dynamic athlete, an athlete that that's not like we didn't see anything like that last week. better quality opponent, and it's an opponent coming off of a tough loss, which is going to even make it even more tough.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see how we respond to a big win and playing a tougher opponent because we're not used to winning home openers, and I know you got some information about that in a minute.
Yep.
We got a group of guys that are not used to winning much and not used to winning home openers, not used to having a whole week of being told how great they look. Now I want to see how are you going to respond. All week you've been told how great you look. We done told you how great you look on here, and you did look great, and you deserve to be told how great you look. So I'm not taking away from that. You've been hearing that, you've been reading that, you've been feeling that, and now you're getting ready to take on a tougher opponent. Are you going to leave last week where last week was at and treat this week like a brand new week and treat it like we're 0-0?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you going to sit there and admire your work and not be ready? I got a feeling this group is going to be ready because I feel like it's a different group.
I do too. Um, I think they're real different. And I want to rebuttal. Read what the chat. Coach Crump said special teams may have a huge impact on this game.
I agree. That's the hidden yardage they always say. Offense, defense, and the other phase, special teams, the hidden yardage. Lots of times in a tough game or in a close game, special teams is difference. Whether it's a block punt, whether it's a kick return, punt return for a touchdown, those are things that don't necessarily don't show up in your offensive stats or your defensive stats, but they impact the game because they impact points. Sometimes a return that puts you on a short field, all of those
Mm-hmm.
things matter. Being able to kick field goals where the other team might not be able to, that kind of thing, those are points. Those are the hitting yardage things. And if the game is close, special teams blunders can cost you the game, and special teams plays can be what allow you to win the game. So I agree with. I know you call him Coach Crump. I call him Pastor Crump. I agree with Pastor Crump 110%.
Yeah, and the rebuttal back what you said on the, living in the past. Listen, great win, man, and I'm gonna give y'all some a history lesson. Great home opener, first shutout in Anson, a home opener since 2005 versus the Monroe Redhawks. Was the
I want
last
you to say
time we
that
had
one more
a
time.
versus the Monroe Redhawks.
Right. So yeah, that's our first home open. That's our first home opener shutout win since 2005. Not our first home opener win since 2005, but our first shutout home opener win in 2005. Last time we shut somebody out in a home opener was in 2005. That's Nick when you guys played when guys like the great Michael Bowman and guys like our classmate Chance English, guys like Keith Harrell
Hmm.
were playing for us. Guys like the late Jimmy Ferris, guys like that who played for us. Anson beat Monroe 34 to nothing. Yes, young men on this Anson team. Anson used to whoop Monroe's, you know what,
Hmm.
and used to and Monroe had decent teams back then. Coach Sowell was coaching them back then too. Yes, believe it or not, ask some of your dads. Anson used to drag Monroe. In 2005, Anson beat them 34 to nothing here in Waysboro, and then the next year they went up to that raggedy Walter Pickett Stadium and beat them 42-3 the next year. So also in the '90s, Anson used to drag Monroe as well. So uh, Monroe didn't start dragging Anson until recent years and under in this era. But I want these young men to know that Anson used to own them. Actually, back in the day when they were the Monroe Rebels, yeah, that's another history lesson, folks. They used to be the Monroe Rebels. Back in Anson Bearcats used to own the Monroe Rebels, and we beat the Monroe Redhawks several times too. So
Hmm.
yeah, so it's only in recent years that they've been taking our lunch. Back when I was growing up, Monroe used to be a tune-up game for Anson, and
Yeah.
but now we act like they might be God. Um, it's time to stop fearing other people. And
Well, I
and
put
and,
it
and,
like
and
I'll say this.
go ahead.
I ain't gonna cut you out, but last year showed me some hope because
It
that
did.
it just we fell a little short on that game in
We
the end of
did.
the game.
Yeah.
But we did what we wanted to do with them in that first
Yeah,
three
but
quarters.
that was the story of last season though.
Yeah.
Most of our games were games last year against Montgomery Central. We were up 16-7 in that game. Up
Yep.
16 to 14 at halftime. We end up losing the game 38 to 16. I know someone look at the score and say, yeah, them gravy, yeah, when Monroe played at that raggedy stadium out there, we had to park in the cemetery. But yeah, and at Walter Pickett Stadium, yeah, Monroe didn't have a stadium. That's where Central Academy, when they have a team, where they play it now. That
Yeah.
also used to be Wingate University Stadium as well. But and it was named after Walter Biggett, like a former superintendent of some Union County schools. But anyway, what the heck was I talking about?
You were
Oh, about
saying
Montgomery Central.
Montgomery
Last year they beat us
Central.
38-16. All right, I know someone when they look at the scoreboard and they say they got beat 38-16, they're like, man, they drug us up and down the field. That was not the case. That game was a tight game going into the fourth quarter. We fumbled the ball in that game 6 times. We lost 4 of those fumbles. I think every one of those fumbles led to a touchdown. They scored touchdowns on all of our turnovers. Maybe not on the scoop. It wasn't necessarily a scoop and score, but I'm talking about the subsequent
They had
possession.
the good fit, yeah, field position
Yeah,
and
on each
drive.
possession, immediate on each subsequent possession after turnover, they scored touchdowns on them. And a lot of those games, they got the ball in their in plus territory, like 20-yard line. They got near the red zone. So out of those 4 fumbles that we lost, every one of them they were led to touchdowns on the subsequent drive, and the majority of those were on short fields where they had the ball right there near the goal line. So you're talking about a game we're up 16-14 at halftime. Game is still pretty close going to the fourth. It was something like maybe 24-16 or something like that going to the fourth. It was still a pretty close game going to the
Hmm.
fourth, and then about 3 of those fumbles happened in the fourth quarter on the other side of the 50 where they were in scoring range near the red zone and they were able to punch the ball in on short fields. It was more. It was granted a win is a win, and Montgomery Central won the game. I'm not taking away from them, but we imploded in the fourth quarter of that game. That's a
Yeah.
game that I think that if we would have held onto the football, the outcome would have been different. Furthermore, our defensive backfield was atrocious during that time. We're much better now. Granted, you could argue that maybe Montgomery Central may have improved as well. I mean, who knows? But at the end of the day, we can't necessarily worry about what they are or how good they are. We got to worry about what we do. We got to make sure that we're the best versions of Anson.
Right. And again, like I said, man, you can't dwell on last week. It was a great victory. It's uh, it's a good way to start the season. But after, I would say after that night, it's time to focus on Montgomery Central. It's over and
Yes,
done
sir.
with. We're going
Yes,
to the
sir.
next one.
Montgomery Central.
Yep.
And
I'm
hey, you already told me what I'm going to ask. What was the JV score tonight? JV played tonight.
Anson JV won 40-6.
Say that a little bit louder.
40-6.
40 to what?
40-6.
Ooh.
Forty
Mm,
to six.
mm. Sound like we took him to the woodshed.
Yeah. And this comprised JV team has a bunch of sophomores and freshmen. But
Yeah.
it's a good bit of freshmen actually starting.
Is Coach Allen brewing up something around there?
Hey, it's good brew. It
Maybe
really
just,
is.
maybe just maybe the Renaissance is happening. Maybe just maybe the restoration is happening. I'm gonna tell you something. Here's the irony: is the reason I'm dressing is I just left from a revival. I was in Gilmore Chapel and we signed up in Concord, and the preacher's message was, "You can live again." And I'm about to say, if that analogy works perfectly with us, because he was preaching from the book of Ezekiel, where with the dry bones, where the prophet said, where it's been asked, "Hey, can these bones live?" And the answer is "Son of Man, prophesy." So in this situation here, we've had a program that's felt like it's been dead, felt like we're without hope, felt like we have nothing to play for, felt like we have nothing to cheer for, nothing to be happy about, nothing to be excited about, just a cycle of the same old, same old, same old, to it almost make you wonder, can this program succeed? Can this program live again? But in the end of the day, when he says something in prophesy, in the sense here, we can say believe and execute and do what you're supposed to do, prepare. I'm about
Hmm.
to say now it seems like we're getting a group of people that believe this football team can win and this team can live, this program can live again. And now this program is starting to breathe in new life. And it's amazing that that's what I heard today because it's seeming like that same analogy because the prophet Ezekiel, the actual stories about the prophet Ezekiel, it was in the form of a dream where he was in the valley of the dry bones. Now, if you take that Old Testament text and apply it to the modern day situation and draw that analogy and juxtapose that to what we've been feeling as a program. We felt maligned. We felt like we had nothing to play for. We felt like we've had nothing to hope for. And now in just one week, a 42 to nothing win on varsity followed by a 40-6 win on JV, it feels like there's something to hope for, something to believe in, something to be excited about. And now it seems like, hey, this program can live again. This program can thrive again. this program can't. Who said that? Sam. And by the way, they called me T Dizzle back then, not Sizzle. And now this program can rise again, and this program can be successful again, and it can be what it once was. The people are starting to believe. The coaches believe. The players believe. The community believes. And now we just got to rally around our program. And I really, 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 really believe this is about to be the start of the Anson Renaissance.
Hey, I like it. I mean, I'm tired of the whole notion of we're the team in the basement. You know, I go back in the history of this, and man, shout out to I want to make sure I got his name right, Chris Clark Sports.
Yeah, we were that page on Facebook. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Chris Clark Sports has been posting some good stuff, like
Yeah, yes, yes.
great stuff. Some games, some historical games that happened in North Carolina where we were in a bunch of them.
Yeah, and won those games, by the way.
And we won those games. The number, if I ain't mistaken, the number two team in 4A that year, Chris Chargers,
Yep, they were
hometown
undefeated going
win.
into that game too.
Yep, beat Independence with Chris Leak.
Yeah, 1999. Oh yeah, Chris beat them that year. The
Yeah.
same year we beat Chris. Yep, yep.
Mm-hmm. And
The
we
same year
lost
the
the
Independence won their first state championship. Yeah, Chris beat them in the first game, second game of the season.
we lost the Independence that year. What 76-40? The first
Yeah, and
go
then lost them.
round
Then lost them again in the regional championship.
championship. But that's another. And then winning. Let's minus the playoff games. You had a game. I don't think. Well, I'm not gonna say I don't think it could happen, but a game where you had standing room only, and it wasn't even a playoff game, but it had playoff atmosphere.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, you talking about when they played Richmond County in 1999, they showed that game. That
Mm-hmm.
game was a
Mm-hmm.
29-21 heartbreaking loss that went right down to the wire. But if we're going to go there, they also showed the highlight when they played at Wildermuth Stadium for young kids.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, Wildermuth Stadium is the stadium at the old Anson Middle School building. That used to be there. That used to be where Anson Senior High School was located and played their home games. They showed where Anson Senior beat Richmond Senior 28-15 or 28-13 at Wildermuth Stadium. Well, when Fred Davis had hair on his head a little bit, Mayor Fred Davis had a little hair on his head when he was a young man. It showed that victory over Richmond Senior. On that same page, they showed our victory over number one seed undefeated West Charlotte. Like I said, number two seed undefeated Crest. They showed those victories. They showed that wire, down to the wire loss to Richmond County. The victory over Richmond County in 1994. They've shown that they've shown the 30-0 victory over Forest Hill in 2000. Those are. I'm hoping these young men that got access to Facebook, they're seeing this. This
Mm-hmm.
is the legacy that you have a chance to resurrect.
It goes back.
And the person, and you have someone on that staff who was here for all of that. Coach Hyatt
Mm-hmm.
was here on the staff during all of that,
Yep.
and he can tell you what it was like. He can tell you what the atmosphere is like. And if you don't want to hear from him, there's a man in the central office by the name of Josh McLaurin who was there.
Mm-hmm.
He could tell you what it was like. He could tell you what happened. If
Yep.
you also look on another page, you'll see we beat undefeated Garner back in 1992, and
Yep.
those highlights are there. We've got countless highlights that are available online for you to see of the great Ants days, and not all of them are back in the 90s. Some of them,
89, 80.
now I
Yeah.
mean, some of them in the 2000s, 2000, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Big victories. 2009, we defeated Northern Guilford 34-32, number one seed, third round of the playoffs. They had Keenan Allen, six-time NFL Pro Bowler now, who's still playing, who played for
Mm-hmm.
them, and we went up there and beat them.
Yep.
That's in the modern era,
Yeah.
and you can resurrect it. You can carve your own legacy. You can create your own highlight, your own team highlight.
Nothing would bring me more joy than is to have just to host a home playoff game.
Well, I want to do more than host a home playoff game. I want to win the home playoff game.
But I want to win the home playoff game. What they say, I want to crawl if I can walk.
Yeah,
But I
but
want
before
my
you can do all
run.
that, and you know what the first step to that is?
Gotta win.
Beating Montgomery Central Friday.
Yeah, gotta win Friday.
That's the first step. Like Chris Brown said, we'll crawl till we can walk again,
I
and then
just
we'll
like
run, until we're strong enough to jump, and then we'll fly like there is no end.
I just think, like I said, and I even said it in his the post that Mr. Clark put up on his page. I was like, you can say what you like about all these other teams in 4A around that era, but I still would put us as the best team in 4A from those for at least 3 years in that range of time. I think we were the best 4A team in the state.
I'll put it like this. I think that if you were going to win a state championship at that time, lots of times you had to go through us to do it.
Yeah.
Typically, when we lost out the playoffs, the team that beat us always went on to win the state championship.
Mhm.
Um, had a few bounces that go away. I remember they showed in 1992 or 1994 we lost the third round in Mount Tabor, and that game was at Woodmore Stadium in Anson. I didn't
Yep.
get the two. I mean, sometimes it's a tough break. I remember in 2007 we lost in the third round to North Gaston to a
Arco.
great AJ Blue. I remember
Arco.
in 2008 we got SH'd against Kings Mountain,
Yep.
56 to
Yep.
55 in the
Mhm.
third round. I remember 2009 we lost in the regional championship to South Point.
South
We
Point.
fumbled that ball. Yeah, we fumbled the heck out of that ball too. But you know, it is what it is. That's part of the
Yeah.
game. We know in 2000 we lost in the regional championship to Independence in a
Independence.
heartbreaker.
Mhm.
Once upon a time, it was an annual tradition that you knew Ed Scanlon was going to be playing after Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
You yeah that we could even take it back to, from Coach Ed Emery, Coach Fred Davis, Coach Jody Grooms from those eras. Getting to the third round of the playoffs was a normal occurrence. We could even let's take it even to the mid 2000s. 2006, 2007, 2008, and 2009. Those are 4 straight years that we at least got to the third round, including a fourth round appearance in 2009. I could
Mhm.
give you a bigger number from in 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009. Those were 6 consecutive seasons where we at least won 8 games.
Yeah.
So that used to
And a
be the norm.
and a playoff game at that. They had a playoff
Well, I,
game. Then
right. Well, yeah, because in '04 and '05, yeah, we won. We beat Northwest Cabarrus in '04 in the first round playoffs in a blowout game. That was a
South
game
Point the
where,
next year.
yeah, but I want to go back to that game against Northwest Cabarrus. The late great J.C. Coleman ran for
Mhm.
227 yards in that game, and God rest his soul. But he left his mark on that game. And the next year, man, it was a comeback from behind victory. I never forget when Coach Groom said you could feel the magic in the air. We were down 24 to 12 with 6 minutes left. And I never forget, instead of onside kicking it, we
You
kicked it
kicked it
deep on the weak
deep.
side of the field. Mario
Mhm.
Campbell, Mario Campbell sprinted down the field and recovered that ball. A couple of plays later, Chance English hits Marshall X real little, corner the end zone for a touchdown. I
Yep.
never forget it.
And some moments that weren't even playoff games. J.M. Robinson game where we were down
Yeah, they were undefeated and ranked, and we
defeated.
beat them 33-31.
Mhm.
Um, the next year, Kannapolis was undefeated. We beat them 6-3 up there in Kannapolis. Then in
Mhm.
'07, we went up there again and beat them 24-21. '08, they were ranked, and we were like 2-3. We were struggling, and we beat them 35-28 down there in Anson. So, and that period we were in the conference with them, we beat them. We beat Kannapolis 3 out of 4 times. This is vintage Kannapolis, back when they were a top 10 powerhouse.
Mhm. 'Cause,
So
I mean, yeah.
yes,
When you look at it, and it's no knock to it, the guy, you got to play what you got to play, right?
yeah.
We and from I'm gonna go. Let's just start from 90 to let's say let's start from 90 or I'll start from 90, 90 to 2010.
Let's
We
say
probably had
2009.
2009. We had some of the we had probably some of the most toughest games, some of the most greatest opponents, some top ranked teams that
Yeah,
were on.
There's one in particular. Go ahead though.
Oh no, I was just saying like I just think that we fought in a lot of these games. I mean, as far as like those top 10 teams where we had to come back and scratch our way to win. And some of them we
Yeah,
just pretty much dominated both sides of the ball.
yeah. Well, one particular team I want to talk about are the Forest Hill Yellow Jackets, our rivals, because a lot of people been wanting to rewrite history and act like Forest Hill is something that we need to worship. Let me tell you something. I'm about to say they beat us in recent years, but by no means are they our golden standard. And
No.
I and back when you played, I'll say in the 2000s, we beat them 8 out of 10 times. We
Yeah.
beat them. I will even go back to '99.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean we barely beat them in '99. We beat them 24-22 in '99. It was a dogfight. Beat them in '99. Beat them
Shut
30
them
to
out in
nothing in 2000.
2000.
Yeah, 2001 beat them 14-6. That was right after 9/11, and right after we lost the late great Lieutenant Jesse Pratt. God rest his soul. That was all the same day. Beat them in '99, 2000, 2001. They beat us 0-2 and 0-3, so that's 4-2 in that stretch. We beat them in
Mm-hmm.
'04, 15-14. We
Yep.
beat them in '05, 39-35. We beat them in
Mm.
'06, 20-14. Marshall Taylor
Mm-hmm.
had a scooping score for the game winning touchdown in that game. We beat them in '07, 35-6. We beat them in '08, 42-14. We beat them '09, 21-14. And even in Coach Jackson and Coach Hyatt's era, they had success against Forest Hill. Even with yeah, I know in 2010 they beat us, but we beat
Mm-hmm.
them in 2011. They beat us in 12. We beat them in 13. Went back and forth. Even during Coach Hyatt's tenure, they went like 500 against them. And even in Coach
Yep.
Jackson's tenure, we lost to them at 15, but we beat them in 16. We beat them in 17. Lost them in 18. Beat
Beat
them
them
in
at
19.
19.
Didn't play them in 20. It's just been like the last 3 or 4 years. And even then, the games have gone down to the wire. Last year we lost them 14-12. A couple years ago, lost them 22-20. They are not the golden standard.
No.
If you look at the past 20 years, the past 25 years, we have an outstanding record against them, a winning record against them.
Yeah.
And you could go over the past 30 years or 35 years, but it's in recent years. But these guys are so young. I don't think they realize that this is a team that don't get me wrong, they always played us tough, but we often beat them. But now they're
Mm-hmm.
sitting there thinking like that's like we're the underdog and they're the big dog.
Mm-mm.
And
That
that
wasn't the
I'm not
case.
gonna lie, that ticks me off, man. Like sitting here considering Monroe and Forest Hill the big dog when I grew up when we used to drag both of them, and that just ticks me off. I'm sorry that we got
And
a coalition of young men that because they're young and it's not their fault they haven't gotten to witness it. They look at those schools as the big dog, like we need to look up to them.
mm-mm.
Let me tell you something that my mom always told me. She said, and my granny told me this: don't look up to anybody, look at them. Quit looking up to those guys and look at them.
Yeah, I tell you this. And they might the younger generation might not understand. Then nobody wanna come down here and play this.
No, they did not.
They didn't would not want to come down here. They knew if they had to come down here, it wasn't gonna be a pretty show. It was gonna be a dog fight
More
and
like a
no
dog
time
mauling.
dog
Maul
mauling
them.
dog fight. Some of them we had a dog fight. Now some of them we
Yeah, I
mauled
know, I
them.
know, I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And I mean, and we took some losses too. But one thing about it, when we took a loss, that team knew that team that beat us knew they came in for a battle, and they knew
Mm-hmm.
they may have beat us, but they know that they had some wounds on them.
Yeah. And I'm gonna put another history lesson in here. And for those that don't know, I'm gonna go from the year 2004 to the year 2005. Anson lost one home game. Let that sink in.
Wow,
One year
I
went
didn't know that.
undefeated at home. Yeah,
Yeah,
2005 year, the senior class, which was 0405 season, they went undefeated at home, including the playoff game.
yeah,
They lost at Richmond County. The next year, we lost the one game at home to Richmond County.
yeah. Which year are you talking about?
That would be the 2005 six year.
What just
That
what fall was it? I mean, what year were the games played?
the 2005 was the
Okay,
year we lost one at home, and 2004 was the
yeah, they
year
beat us
we
36. They beat us 36-14. Yeah,
14. Yep, and 2004 they went undefeated at home.
yes, they did.
So
And
that
even beat Weddington 41-7 that year. Just to throw that,
yeah,
but
yeah
just throw that out there.
Weddington.
Yeah, Weddington was in our conference back then and beat them 41-7. We
Concord.
used to handle them.
Yeah,
I think we didn't beat Concord that year. The only time we beat Concord was in '08. We played Concord at Concord that year.
Concord. Yeah, I mean I know we didn't ever beat Concord, but what I'm saying is the teams that was in the conference, you had your Piedmonts,
Yeah,
Parkwoods,
and that back when
Connecticut's.
Piedmont was good.
Good, yeah. And people like, oh, Piedmont was good. Yeah, Piedmont was actually
Yeah,
pretty good.
they were good back when they had Stephen
Jimmy.
Black and all them guys, and then later on they had
Yeah.
like Trey Lee and Jimmy Ferris and all them guys
Mm,
before
mm-hmm.
Jimmy played for us.
Yep.
The Man, that's crazy, man. It don't even seem like Jimmy gone, man. That's crazy.
I know, right?
But
That's yeah. But I
I
mean,
remember
we
last time I remember last time I saw Jimmy because his parents used to own that restaurant up there in Ansonville, and he was working there for his dad, and we
hmm
chopped it up for a minute. That was probably about a couple years before he died. I had no idea that'd be the last time I talked to him.
right. Just never know, man.
Yeah, I like those Jimmy Ferris though, man. I mean, you can say what you want about him. He's a fun guy to laugh and cut up with.
Yeah, I had Jimmy. Me and Jimmy had a lot of classes in middle school together. So
Yeah, he was a cool dude, man. He was a cool dude. It's just uh,
yeah,
just sad that he ain't with us anymore.
yeah,
Same
but
thing with J.C. Coleman, man. It's like when I'm thinking about these guys, like J.C. Coleman was a good dude, man. And like I said, J.C. Coleman used to come to our church sometimes because he had family in our church. He had cousins and stuff there, so he used to come to like our vacation Bible school and stuff. So I used to see J.C. around a lot, man. J.C. Coleman was just a down to earth, cool dude. Was nice to everybody, man. Always respecting everyone. Never had anything. Never heard anyone say anything negative about J.C. Coleman. I mean, just a stand up guy, man, and just and a guy who represented Anson County in the right way. And just sad to see a guy like J.C. Coleman not with us anymore.
yeah,
I mean, that's
I,
life is fragile, man.
yeah, definitely is. And I just want to just iterate that that we dominated in the 90s, the 2000s.
Yeah,
We were a force to be reckoned with, and I love to see what this team has in store because I feel like um they're definitely gonna have
yeah. The key is just don't get in our own way, young men. When I say don't get in your own way, before you do whatever you do, make sure you think your actions through. When
right,
you're in the classroom and that other person is antagonizing you, walk away from the situation or contact the appropriate authority person. Don't do anything that's going to get you in trouble or jeopardize your football season.
right,
When I ain't gonna lie, when that other person want to go smoke a joint, whatever, that's where you got to be like, nah, I'm not doing that because I can't jeopardize hurting my teammates.
right,
When you don't feel like doing your homework or doing your schoolwork and all that stuff, you got to say, nah, I got to do it because I got to stay eligible for this team. Because if I'm not eligible, I'm hurting my team. Every single thing that you do can have a reaction to it.
hmm
But the thing about it, those reactions, those consequences can derail your entire season. That fight that you're about to get into that can get you suspended. Not only can it derail your season, if you have any scholarship offers and the college is looking at you, that can get your scholarship offer revoked. So you got to think about things like that. The moment that that person wants to do something stupid or something silly that can get you in trouble, think if I get caught, this could hurt my teammates because this could take me off the field where I can't be there for them to help them win ball games. You got to don't do anything to get in your own way. Even in a game, if another player is from the other team is antagonizing you, you got to remember the official always catches the second person. They don't ever
hmm
catch the first guy. You got
Yep,
to think. Don't do anything to get yourself suspended. Don't do anything to get yourself ejected. That's in the classroom. That's on the field. The school year started. Stay focused academically. If you want to play football on Saturdays and play at the next level, you also have to get it done in the classroom. You also have to get it done in the books. That same energy, that same tenacity, that same passion, that same buy-in that you put into your football with Coach Allen, you need to put that into your schoolwork as well because that's what's going to get you to the next level. If you want to play on Saturdays, whether it's at Chapel Hill or whether it's at Pembroke, either way, neither one of them are going to take someone who's not eligible.
right, and I'm with you on that. I mean, you gotta think. Sometimes not going somewhere and it could be bad outcome is it's good to sit at home. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
Get yourself focused, man. It's ain't too much good out in the streets at a late
No, not at
time.
all.
Yeah,
And if something's bothering you, talk to somebody. Talk to your counselors. Talk to your parents. Uh, if you're a person of faith, talk to your pastor. I'm about to say, but don't let anger, don't let poor decisions derail your season. You're
yeah.
going to be tempted to do bad things because the thing about it, trouble has a way of finding us.
Oh yeah.
Trouble doesn't need a GPS. It can find anybody.
Mhm.
And trouble always look for people who have the brightest futures. And you got to remember when trouble comes to you, you got to learn how to walk away from trouble.
Yep.
Just because something's presented to you doesn't mean that you have to partake.
That's
Remember,
true.
anything you do or partake in can impact what you do this season or can impact your ability to be there this season. So think before you react.
Oh yeah. Um, what I wanted to say. And also, keep your head in them books, man. That's the main thing. Keep your head in them books.
Absolutely.
Um, keep your head in them books, cause let me tell you something. You can get just a full scholarship with education. It's quicker than and than an athletic scholarship.
That is true.
So
And when you're well rounded and can do both, that makes you a dual threat.
yeah, cause you listen. If the game of football can get you a free education, get it by
Right.
all means.
Like Coach actually said, football is a catalyst. If you can get a degree that you don't have to pay for because of your by playing the game that you love, take
Hmm.
advantage of that.
Yeah, get your degree. And hey, look, football ain't forever. What they say,
Right.
NFL not for long. That's what it
Not
is.
for long.
Not
And
for
only a
long.
small percentage and only a very small percentage of people ever make it to the NFL. Shout
Yeah.
out to Stephon Anthony. Shout out to Timmy Horn. Shout out to David Luke. Shout out to the late great Junkyard Dog. Shout out to guys like Cedric Holt, Antoine Marsh, who had opportunities in the NFL as well. Shout out to Marcus Beast Huntley and guys like that. But very few guys even have an opportunity to sniff an NFL practice field.
Yeah.
So use your talent to your advantage to get that free education.
Oh yeah. Most definitely. Um, I was gonna say I didn't know if you did. Did you have a? You said you Max Freight wasn't working, was it? Oh, you got it
I got
working.
it. I got it working now.
Um, do they have a top 25? I want to see what that is this year.
I can check.
Uh,
Shoot.
we can
Let
we
me
can go through
go.
that and then we can close
I'm
on
about
out.
to. I have to filter it out North Carolina, but give me 1 minute. I'll do it.
Okay. Yeah, man. This the I like this the way this season's going. But like I said, 1 week at a time. 1 week at a time.
Yeah. They got Huff ranked 18th in the country on Max Prep.
Oh, what? Mm.
Huff got a big game this week, don't they?
They played Cardinal Gibbons, I think.
Cardinal Gibbons just beat the crap out of a real good team the
Yeah.
other day. All right, let me filter this out to North Carolina. I remember Cardinal Gibbons used to be a two-way school back in the four class system back in the day,
Yeah, they were.
Just like Charlotte Catholic used to be too. But I'm surprised them and Catholic don't ever play each other. That would be a doozy.
That would be a good one. I don't know about
Uh,
now, but
Catholics start seeming to find a way back.
yeah, 'cause they had a rough couple years, if I ain't mistaken.
Yeah, but they're starting to look like the old Charlotte Catholic.
Oh,
I'm trying to apply this filter. I got North Carolina now. Come on. Here we go. All right. You just want to read out the top 25?
top 25, yes.
All right, cool. Number 20, and this is all classes. This is just Max Preps rankings, all classes in the state of North Carolina. Number 25, Garner, 0 and 1. Number 24, we were just speaking about them, Charlotte Catholic, 1
Mm,
and 0. Number 23, Richmond Senior, 0 and 1.
they got
Number
some hurt.
22, Charlotte Christian, 0 and 1. Number 21, Page, 1 and 0.
Hmm,
Number 20, Crest, 1 and 0.
they low this year.
Number 19, Lake Norman, 1 and 0.
They
Number
low.
18, Roseville, 0 and 1. Number 17, Hoggard, 1 and 0.
Mm-hmm.
Number 16, Myers Park, 0 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
Number 15, Reagan, 1 and 0.
Mm-hmm.
Number 14, Cleveland, 1 and 0. Number 13, Mooresville, 0 and 1.
Huh.
Number 12, Clayton, 1 and 0.
Mm-hmm.
Number 11, Millbrook, 1 and 0. And then there's the top 10.
Okay.
Topping off the top 10, West Forsyth, 1 and 0. Number 9, Independence. Listed at 0 and 1, but right that's in dispute right now. It might be 0 and 1. They're actively disputing that loss, given that the
Yeah,
game was played only one quarter and stopped for weather delay. That loss is currently under review for dispute, but
yeah,
as of right now, listed as 0 and 1.
yeah.
Number 8, Mallard Creek,
Hmm.
1 and 0. Number 7, I'm unfamiliar with the school, but Rabin Gap Nakochi.
Yeah, Raboon Gap.
I'm not familiar with them, but they're 0 and 1, ranked at number 7. Excuse me, I'm sorry for the mispronunciation. Raboon Gap. Sorry about that. Number 6, West Charlotte, 0 and 1. Big game against Monroe this week, for West Charlotte.
Yeah.
Number 5, Cardinal Gibbons, 1 and 0.
Hmm.
Number 4, Weddington, 1 and 0. Number 3, Providence Day, 1 and 0.
Hmm.
And then there were two. Number 2, Grimsley, 1 and 0. And number 1, and also ranked number 18th in the entire country,
Huff.
Huff at 1 and 0.
William Amos.
Yes, sir.
William Amos Huff. Listen, there's a lot of good teams on there. I'm surprised that well, I'm not surprised that West Charlotte. Well, West Charlotte had a tough game this past week. I'm not gonna hold that against them.
Did they play Grimsley or something like that?
Yeah, they played Grimsley. They got the Molly Wop, but you know,
They had a lot of attrition too, so I don't even know what the roster looked like. They had a lot of guys transferred. They got a
new
new
coach,
coach.
new
So
system.
yeah, I'll put it like this: their game Friday against Monroe. If they blow Monroe out, then we know they're going to be fine. If
Yeah,
if they struggle against Monroe, Monroe wins that game, then we know that West Charlotte got some regrouping to do.
yeah. Um, and then Independence, if that does become a loss, it's not like they played a bum team. They play one of the best teams in South Carolina.
Yeah, one of the best teams in the country traditionally,
Country,
in
yeah,
Burns.
Burns, yeah. And what was that coach? I think was it the guy from? It's been a long time ago. I know the coach from
You know, we had a
Richmond.
wide receiver that came from Burns, Ricky McKinney. That
Yeah,
time he came
Ricky.
from Burns in the middle of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
Hey, don't know nothing, but yeah. um, but like I said, there's nothing. Those games are test games. So I mean, like I said, the quality opponents, strength of schedule for them gets tougher regardless. But they starting the season
yeah,
off with a very uh, tough opponent, and Independence had a lot of attrition, like you said, a new coach, definitely new system. So a lot of these teams are just trying to find identity right now.
hey, like I said in Proverbs, man, iron sharpens iron, man. I'm about to say to beat a man, you got to beat the man. Whatever you want to analogy or adage you want to use. I mean, in order to be the best, you have to show that you can beat the best.
Right. And I think like Huff, let's just I'm gonna be real honest, that they I don't see nobody really beating them this year. I don't.
I mean, on paper, I don't. I mean, I'm gonna always say you have to play the games.
Yeah, you gotta play the games, but I just find it so they're basically what Grimsley was last year. I didn't see anybody beating them last year.
Anyway, shout out to him. Oh, speaking of high school football, did you see Jeremy Chandler's a head coach now,
The former
interim
DB
head
coach?
coach. Yeah, former Anson DB coach Jeremy Chandler is interim head coach. Gosh, let me tell you what school it is. Because what happened is some small private school where the head coach was originally the defense coordinator from Independence last year. You know, Jeremy was DB coach at Independence last year, and
Mm-hmm.
that guy, the defense coordinator, became head coach. I think he brought Jeremy on the staff with him, but for undisclosed reasons, or for reasons I haven't dug into yet, that coach. They decided not to start the season off with him and decided to move on from him before the season started. And they made Jeremy Chandler the interim head coach. So
And
right now,
what's
Jeremy
crazy?
Chandler's the head coach.
I seen that story. I think it was Monday. I didn't click on it and read it, but I did see the headline come from the news saying that it was a high Charlotte head coach. Um, dismissed or stepped down, something like that. That was the headline was. I seen it
Yeah,
on WSOC, and then I seen it. Actually, I seen it on Google. If you know the homepage on Google, it popped up there.
yeah.
So
I'm trying to find the article now. Hold up. Charlotte High School dismiss. Here we go. I'm gonna tell you the name of the school. Hold up.
okay, yeah, I seen that. Uh,
Trying to see if it's the same one. I'm looking at this article on 105.3, the radio station. A
mhm.
Charlotte High School football program started the 2026 season with a change at the top after a newly appointed head coach resigned before coaching a single game. This might not be the same one because I don't know why this one here won't put the name of the freaking school on it. The situation of
I remember seeing the story. It popped like I said. It was Monday when I seen it, and I didn't open it because I was like,
yeah,
maybe
I
if
saw
I
it on
see.
Instagram.
Oh, well, I definitely seen it on.
Hold on, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get the right one. Uh,
Oh,
I want one that I could where I wouldn't have to click on a bunch of hoopla. Let's see. Bradford Prep. That's the school. Bradford.
okay.
I'm about to read this. Bradford Prep's first football coach never got a chance. Never got to coach a game. The coach, Adam Weber, is also no longer employed by the school. Bradford
Mm,
Prep athletic director Graham Haley confirmed to the Charlotte Observer. Haley said that he could not reveal the reason for the change, calling it a personnel matter.
mm,
Weber, 30, was hired earlier this year to the two-way charter school in Charlotte after serving as defense coordinator in Independence. Weber
mm,
also coached at Shelby High School in Cleveland County, where he won one state championship as a player and three more as an assistant coach. Weber told the Observer on Tuesday that he was asked to resign by the school administrators last week before Bradford Prep's first game against Thomas Jefferson. In his email, Haley did not give a reason for the change, but said defensive coordinator Jeremy Chandler will be the interim head coach. I mean, will be the interim coach at Bradford Prep for the remainder of the season, with the current varsity staff also remaining in place. I am at a loss for words, Weber told the Observer. I am a little confused and devastated. I know God gives his strongest battles to his strongest soldiers. So, then podcast appearance. Weber told the Observer that he was called to meet with school administrators last Thursday, one day before he appeared on a local podcast, during which he made a comment about a Bradford prep student that the parents of the student perceived as threatening. The Observer obtained a video copy of the segment. It was a joke taken out of context for sure, Weber said. The school didn't notify me 100% on why they were asking me to resign, but they had just got a report. I still don't know 100% why. Weber said that he reached out to the family of the student before he met with the school administrators. I sent my apologies and said, I totally understand how they feel, but it was just taken out of context. Weber said he hopes to return to the sidelines. I definitely want to coach again, he said, and I think I can learn from this. Most definitely. You know what? I hope he sued the crap out of him.
yeah, I agree.
Like,
Those.
I mean, let me backtrack. I don't know what he said because I hadn't seen the video, so that was premature of me to say that without knowing the full context, without knowing all the facts. But just listen to it on the surface. If it truly was just some kind of run of the mill joke type thing that where you could clearly see in the context that it was a joke, I don't think that should have cost a man his job. Now, if he did say something that was out of line, that was completely out of line, then you could understand why it happened. So let me backtrack and say, hey, I don't know all the facts. I haven't reviewed all the facts, so that was premature of me to say that. But at the same time, you still hate you hate it for the kids. You hate to see a man lose his job, and right before the season started, the kids had to go through that change just like that. On the flip side, Jeremy Chandler, his mother is an Anson County native. He's from Greensboro, but his mom's from Anson County, so he has Anson County roots. He was an assistant coach under Coach Jackson, coached on Anson's staff, his defensive backs coach here. Proud to see a former Anson guy. You can call him a Coach Jackson guy. Glad to see him get a head coaching opportunity. So now that makes three guys that we know
Three.
of who's worked under Coach Jackson, who's you can say four. I know Richard Davis is really more of a Fred Davis, Jody Grooms, McMahon guy, but still worked with Jackson. You got at least three, four guys that we know at some point worked under the Coach Jackson staff, who's gone on to become head coaches, including our own head coach, Coach Lynn. Now, and that's a testament that shows that Coach Jackson is a great molder of young coaches, and if you work with him, you have an opportunity to at some point grow in the ranks and become a head coach yourself. So I'm very happy for Coach Jeremy Chandler. Sad about the circumstance, but happy about the opportunity for him, and I wish him well.
Same here. Same here. Um, you know, sometimes those some words get put out of proportion. I don't know. Like you said, I hadn't seen it. I don't know exactly what was said, but maybe it was construed by the parents. Maybe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe who knows? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
got to be
unfortunate.
careful what you say. Got
Say
to be careful
yeah,
what you say. Yeah, that's. I mean, even when we're on here, you got to realize both
yeah,
of us we have jobs and stuff, man. So we have to be careful what we say on here, even where we're not saying anything that could even jeopardize our own careers.
right.
In today's time where somebody's always, especially on stuff like podcasts, but in general, everybody has a phone, everybody has a camera. You're always now they got those flock cameras, whatever those things are too, which I'm not getting into debate about whether they're good or bad. I'm just saying that you could be seen all the time. It's like now somebody's always watching, so you have to be careful what you say, what you do. Same thing, like I was picking back off of what I was the message to the young man. Think before you react. Everything's being watched, everything's being seen, everybody has access, everything usually becomes available on the internet. You got to be very careful and mindful of what you say and do.
We got somebody in the chat. Man, yeah, 97 says Coach Chandler is great. Wish him all the best.
Well, can you put it up there where the rest of us can see it? There we
There
go.
we go. Had a little delay. There you go.
Yeah, man. My bad, brother. But yeah, man. Best wishes to Coach Chandler.
Yeah. We are at the hour and 27-minute mark, and we're gonna close it out. Give you the floor.
Sure, man. Man, it's been if you're from Manson County, man, it's been a pretty tough week. Former Bearcat football and basketball player Chris Christian. Sure you've seen the news, whatever, man. We lost him last week. That was a very sad story, very tragic situation. A young man who was a father. I remember, I think he played wide receiver, DB at Anson when he played. He played on some of those good teams with Coach McMahon. I think he played under Coach Hyatt as well. Also was a terrific basketball player too, state of the art athlete. A guy Nick that you knew very well that you kind of grew up with. I
Hmm.
was a marching band with his sister, so just very sad to hear of losing that young man. And then to hit a little closer to home, man, class of '06. That's our graduating class. We lost Fred Christian, man. You and I all the way back to Central Elementary School from the days of
Yep.
Central Elementary School to Wadesboro Elementary to Anson Senior High School. Sad part about it, we're getting ready for our 20th class reunion, and I remember even seeing in the class of '06 chat where Fred had even put in the comments that he had paid his dues and he was going to be there, and just a little less than 2 months before realizing that he's not going to be there because he's no longer with us, man. That's really saddening and heartbreaking. So for Chris Christian and for Ed Kristen, my heart goes out to their families, sending prayers to their families. On a personal note, my lady friend, man, Jessica, she lost her uncle this week as well. So I mean, just tough situation all around. It's just a reminder that life is fragile. I never say life is short because I hate when people say that. I say life is uncertain because longevity that's a degree of opinion of perspective. I can say someone 65 years old, you might say they're old, I might say they're not that old. So that's all about perspective. But one thing that we can say is life is uncertain. We never know what we're going to face. We never know when it could be taken from us. Those are things that we don't know. So I said life is uncertain and life is fragile. So in the meantime, keep that in mind that hey, every day you're living to carve your legacy. and also do right by people because you never know what people are going through. You never know when it may be the end for somebody. We don't even know when it's going to be the end for each and every one of us. So it's important to do right by people. And I'm a person of faith, and it's important to live in accordance with my faith because you don't ever want to be in a situation where you get called to check out and you don't have your business ready.
I agree, man. You never know, man. Just, I really just lost words, honestly. But it's just been the oof,
Yeah, man. The
man.
good thing about it, man, that's why I love football season stuff, man. That's the time where the opportunity where we could, for a couple of hours, not think about those things. It's the couple of hours where we can just laugh, enjoy each other, have fun, and it's a healthy distraction from those other things, those serious things in life that can that those things, man. Those things are going to happen. Those things hurt. Those things create sadness. But we have this football here. We have this podcast here, and hopefully we can provide relief to people and take their mind for a couple of hours off those things.
Yeah, yeah. We definitely it's a good way of trying to what's the word I want to use?
So it's a
Good
good distraction, man. It's a good, healthy
it's a
distraction.
distraction. Yeah, um, yeah, man. Prayers the Christian family and the Christian family, and it's these tough days coming ahead. So,
Yes, sir.
but with that,
And
man,
oh man, I didn't mean to cut you off, man. And those over the weekend, man, I saw Mr. where Mr. Burns lost him, and I didn't know him personally, but I know the family. The family. My uncle is a good friend of their. My uncle Mary is a good friend of that family. So to hear that still made me sad. Sad situation about the attempted murder and the suicide situation at Myrtlewood too, man. It, life is too precious for us to lose ourselves in foolishness. Like, let's live life, let's enjoy life, and let's leave all the BS behind.
I'm with you on that. But yeah, with that being said, man, we up out of here. We'll see y'all next week for another episode, and appreciate all the people that came in the chat tonight. Sam, Reverend Coach Crump, that's what I'm gonna call him, Reverend Coach Crump, Reverend Coach Crump. But yeah, we appreciate y'all for coming through. Man, yeah, 97. Appreciate you for coming through as well, and the people that's watching that didn't say anything. We appreciate you as well. So yeah, we'll be back next week for another recap preview show. And with that being said, man, we up out of here.
Take care.